All right, guys, we're back. Hopefully, everyone can hear me and that you see everything and we're good. Please don't forget to hit the like button. I forgot to ask you in the last session. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Great. Thank you, Judith. So Crude has been trading in quite some range today. It was down well over $2 earlier this morning. Now it's only down $1.50. It's right around that $69 barrel range. We did see that it was quite a bit lower. I mean, you could look up here and see the low was all the way down at 68.16. The high was at 70.81. So lots of range today. We're somewhere in the middle of that range, that daily range right now. All right, so just a quick review for those of you who are brand new. Morning, Roger. Hello again, John. So the big chart on the right is the Counterpunch Trader or Counterpunch Express 2, the 377 tick chart. The two charts on the left are momentum range bars. On top is the faster one, the 5-tick range bar, and on the bottom left is the 8-tick, and that's with Spotlight Master Suite. Anyone have any questions about that? Let me know. We're going to wait 2 minutes for the report. Well, the report will come out. We'll wait 2 minutes, and then we'll look to take the next trade. I'll be trading the Counterpunch chart as I typically do. I know many of you will trade the Spotlight charts. Let me ask a question. Is there anybody in here who is trading the 5-tick momentum bar chart? Because I'm thinking if we don't have any traders doing that, I might ultimately replace that chart with something else. Either an unleaded gas chart, something different. If nobody's trading this chart in the upper left, what about the 8-tick? The 8-tick momentum bar, I know, at least I know in the past, many of you are trading it. They both do very well, by the way. Many would argue that they do better than Counterpunch. Ron says replace it with Catapult. I just haven't tested Catapult with this. And Catapult's really fast, as you know. I wouldn't want to replace it unless there was like a reason to. We already have something that works. So it's not just, I don't want to just replace things just for the sake of replacing things. But, all right, the report may have come out a little early. I just saw it just hit 10:30, but the reaction happened a few seconds early unless my clock is off. So let's mark the boundary. But unleaded gas is a great alternative, and I'm just thinking of maybe another market that one could trade other than crude oil. Right, so keep the 8-tick, replace the 5-tick maybe is what I'll do. Clear reaction boundaries established here. $0.60 range, not too bad. Coming to test the lower end of the range now. But we still have about 35 seconds to go. You can see it getting into that short trade. And that short trade may be a valid entry. We'll see. Well, no, now it isn't. Once it hit its money management level and the stop moved down, we're not going to try to get in sync with it. That trade's over. Well, it's still going. We're not in it. We'll wait for another setup. Just waiting our 2 minutes. which will be in the next 7 or 8 seconds. We'll be ready to look for another setup. Now we just have to be patient. So definitely pushing through the lows, making new lows in relationship to the release of the report. And it's still going, hasn't stopped out yet. Trailer's still printing. All right, we got a long setup now, and that long trade is at, we'll call it 58. We'll make a 1-tick adjustment. 58. I'm going to make it to 59 now since it already got in at 58. Now we're going to adjust it. Actually, I'm actually going to 60 on this because I want to see it push through before getting it. And I don't usually get in at 60, but it put the high in at 68, so if it triggers in, it's going to be and did it trigger in? I didn't get filled if it did. Now we have a new setup. Anyway, the new setup happened after the white one. So we're targeting 77. All right. Money management will be at 70. And the stop is at 38. It's got to get to 70. There it is. Move your stop to break even. Don't forget you adjusted, so you may want to account for the adjustment, but it almost got to target 2. So the unadjusted stop is at 58. I just stopped out. So unfortunately, that's a break-even trade. I mean, I put my stop right at my entry at 60 in that case, just because it almost got to target 2 and I didn't want any risk, so I'll pay the commission there. So we need another trade. Finding resistance at the 50 moving average, couldn't get through it. Definitely moving quick here. That's a shame that that stop took that trade out. Spotlight, the 8-tick momentum bar, working great on that setup, hitting its goals there. That one's finished. Still going, but hitting its goals. Ram asking if you could trade any instrument. This is a specific plan to the crude oil report, although unleaded gas responds to it really nicely as well. I have never tried heating oil. So I would say crude oil, you could test a plan with unleaded gas. I know a Spotlight that's tested very well in the past. Anything else, Ram, you just have to test it because I don't know the answer. I've never really looked to see how this report moves the E-minis, for example, on a consistent basis or not. I've never looked. So counterpunch, unfortunately, the money management a little bit too tight, bumping us out of the trade, which kind of sucks. Need another winner or another money management trade, that would end the plan. There's a long, heads up. So a long now at 69.01. Where's my mouse? There it is. 69.01. It did fill. It's targeting 69.31. The stop's at 72, and money management is at 20. It's a bigger trade. So if this one can get to its target too, then that stopping out on the first trade would be lucky. We got to get through the reaction, though. That the high of the reaction is definitely a test. Let's see if we can get through it. So there's your setup again. It did come down and give you another chance to get in on it. So long at 01, targeting 31. Nice 30 tick target. Trying to get to 69.20 so we can move our stop to break even. And that's going to require getting through that line. That's the reaction line from the report. You could see it throwing up some resistance there. That's why I mark them. This is pretty typical. It may not be able to get through. Hopefully it will. Especially since we're in the trade. This is what we call no man's land. There's nothing we can do. Just let the trade do its thing, and hopefully it comes up and tests it again. Living above the signal line's a good thing, but it's yet to be seen if that will continue. See the 50 and the 200 kind of merging together. It's kind of marking a test zone. Hopefully we stay above it. And trading close now to the middle of the range if it comes down and touches those lines. Yeah, there's a stop and reverse. This really sucks. It is what it is. The entry is at 89. So stops move to 89. And the stop and reverse moves to 89. So this is where I have to flip over to my market order chart. If it triggers short, it'll be targeting 61 and your stop will be at 18. Maybe it will cancel, hopefully. And it looks like so far it may cancel. And it is going to cancel. And we are going to move our stop to break even now. So this will be the power of quitting trade. Cancel the short trade. Move your stop to 04. Moved up 3 ticks from the entry because of the trailer also. And hopefully we can push higher. Look at how the top end of the range from the reaction is sticky. It's a sticky number. Trying to work through it. Hopefully we get a push higher and get to our target. There we go. Now we have another long setup. That's a good sign. Some traders will end up moving their targets up. Try to get to the bigger target. The stop just moved higher to 07. So move your stop up a little more. Getting really close to full target, but not quite. Got a little ways to go. Trying to get to 31 and getting as high. All right, move your stop to 09 now, by the way. I'm going to grab as much as we can here. And, oh, man, that was ugly. Let's try to, nope, couldn't get there. All right, so that stopped out with a partial profit as well at 09. Just could not quite get all the way to 31. It missed by 3 ticks and stopping out with money management. So that's 2 money management trades, a positive result, and the end of the session. So the first trade breaks even more or less, depending on where you put your stop. because of the adjustment, but that counts as a money management trade. Unadjusted, it made 1 tick. The second trade, also a money management. Money management means that you manage your money, right? You move your stop from way down here. You manage it by moving it up to take the risk off the trade. That's what I mean when I say money management. It's just a habit from years ago. Maybe it's a trade management. Maybe it's a stop management. There's probably better ways to say that. I just use money management. And I always type in MM when I'm describing it, when I'm typing something. But anyway, that's what that is. It went from 01 to 09. It only made 8 cents. You guys can go buy yourself a ham and cheese sandwich on me, on you, on the crude oil report. It's about what we made. Ham sandwich today. But it is what it is. Our goal uses power of quitting. It empowers us to stop trading and take what the market wants to give us. And that's why this has worked for so well for so long. Just going back and looking over Spotlight really quick, because that one really was the hero today. Got it done. You wait your 2 minutes, just like what we're doing here. The long trade comes. This is one of those cases where you have to decide, do you want to make it come down and test the lows and then take it or not? These are things you need to test on your own. There's 2 places to get in, right when it shows up. Adjusting above the 20 SMA, although that's kind of a large adjustment, but that is a compromise that you can do to try to prevent from getting wiggled in on a possible reaction to a new action down, or wait for it to make a new low. It fails to make a new low, makes a higher low, comes up, and you could take the trade when it triggers in here. So you have a number of ways to do this, and it's really a matter of personal trading style and the way you test your own plan. But the basics of the plan: long trade, triggers in, hits its targets. Target 1 is your first objective with this chart. 20 cents, $200, multiple targets for multiple positions. It did hit a perfect target 3. Next trade was a winner as well. So Spotlight, 8-tick momentum bar, the hero today. Counterpunch worked. Wasn't as good. That's the way the cookie crumbled today. The 5-tick was a mess. It just was too many trades, too fast, too noisy, and just not good. It's not always like that. I don't like the 5-tick because not only could it be too noisy, but the trades are often too small. And that messes with the risk-reward ratios, and it's harder to execute and all that stuff. So I'll probably replace that. I will replace that. All right, so that's that, guys. That's a wrap. Jim W., any reason we can't trade MCL instead of CL to reduce risk a bit? No, there's no reason, Jim. I mean, you just have to test it and do your homework, because the MCL chart will not be the same as the CL chart. There'll be variation in quotes, and the data will be different. And I don't see why it wouldn't work. And it's probably something you could practice with for a while. But I don't see any reason other than if you don't do your pre-production work to prove it, right? So everything I'm always going to tell any of you is to prove it to yourself first. You have a chance to get it right, so don't do it until you do. All right, any other questions? Claude says counterpunch target 1 and 2 and trail out 377. I don't use target 1 on counterpunch, Claude. The original trade plan is target 2. And I don't take profit at target 1 with counterpunch. That is a 8-tick momentum bar thing with the Spotlight. Great, Jim. Then the next step would just be practice and execution. See if you can do it. And build a log of trades. I know there's not enough data because it's a new. The thing is, with that micro contract, it's new. I still think, it should work. I don't see why not, because the setups are good and the setups respond to the data on your chart. So I don't see why it wouldn't work. I mean, I can't even think of why it wouldn't work. Use stop limit orders so you don't pay too much slippage on your entries. Yeah, good. That's good. That's good to know. Very good, Pamela. Enjoy the rest of your day. Claude, thank you. I'm glad that's clear. Anyone else with questions before we say goodbye? Don't forget to hit the like button for me, please. I know there's a few seconds of a delay here, so I'm just waiting to see if anyone has anything else to say. Roger, you're very welcome. All right, so everyone have a wonderful day. Sure thing, John, Len, have a great day, everyone. Wonderful weekend. John will be here tomorrow. Unless things change for me, I'll be here Monday. Fernando, glad you enjoyed it. This is a trade plan, the crude oil report. We've been doing it for years, not a little while. Same chart, same strategy, same everything. I've got several years of recordings on my site. The old NetPick site where I came from before that has years of this session on it from me doing it as well. So this goes back years. We still do it. All right, everyone. See you next time.